Hey.
Hi.
Damn it. I thought she got her barking out while we were doing the countdown, but apparently she didn't.
She just knows.
I know. She knows.
She's such
when
a
we're
bitch.
Fucking live.
She's a bitch. I love her though.
Now she's just eyeballing me and huffing. She knows I'm talking shit. Anyway, that would have been a weird 15, 20 seconds for you if you have no idea what you're listening to. But this is Mike and Mare.
Hi. Mare.
And the name of the show is I Don't Want to Watch That. And yeah, we just basically make each other watch shows that we don't want to watch and talk about it.
Yep.
So far, Mare's winning that about 50 episodes to 10. So...
Well, what can I say?
I know, but I have started to like your shows. And
I got you hooked, baby.
yeah, I think it's the memes. I like doing the memes.
Yeah, the memes have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you can find those memes at Instagram and Twitter at Don't Wanna Watch. And just if you were interested also, the website is don'twannawatchthat.com. And that's wanna like a kid. W-A-N-N-A. So at Don't Wanna Watch.
Yeah, it's been kind of exciting for me doing the memes with you.
Yeah, no, we've been having a great time.
It's been a pretty exciting week. Heather shared our stuff.
Yeah.
So did Lisa.
No
big deal.
No big deal.
Simmer down, it's a party.
Fucking idiot. I can't believe.
Yes. So I'm a moron, and now I figured out how we could do little drops. That's the only one we have right now.
Soundboard. We're like fucking K-Rock.
I know, like we're a morning zoo.
WPLJ.
Yeah, we're the morning zoo right now.
Simmer down, it's a party.
But like I said, that's the only one we have. And,
That's the only one we have.
don't worry, I'm gonna make more. Because what the fuck else do I have to do with my life? I guess they cut Real Housewives on board.
Listen, it's not bad, right?
No, we're
We
having
could be doing
fun,
worse
and
things.
obviously we're laughing and enjoying ourselves. So that's all that matters. And
Oh man, that gave me a good laugh.
oh, absolutely.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Please.
So this is, you've happened onto one of our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City episodes. So we're basically right now we're watching Salt Lake City and Old New York. We're in season 4 of New York. Those episodes, you know, they come up periodically. So there's usually 1-2 a week, one of each. But
Thank
yeah.
you, Professor Burns.
Sorry, I
Our
was just,
lecturer.
new people, we have a very small audience, and I don't think many of them are repeat. But yeah, so just explaining it to people.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, episode 5.
That was so mean of me and
I know.
dismissive. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's okay.
But let's keep this moving.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do that. I'm the radio host.
Okay, back at Mary's neck. Listen, Elvis Duran. Howard Stern over here.
Oh, man.
Fucking
I wish. Yeah.
You think you're Charlemagne the God?
Yeah. Oh, sure. We're going to have freestyles later. Oh, man.
Okay, nobody else thinks this is funny except us.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing it.
All right. Back at Mary's Met Gala brunch. Well, first, before we even get into it, I just have to say, I felt like this episode was very heavy.
There was a lot going on this
There's
episode.
a lot to unpack.
And they do a lot of serious topics, too.
Yeah, man.
They get into it.
Like, between...
Which is difficult for me and Mary because we're both goofballs. Well, me specifically.
What?
I'm a goofball. It's hard for me to talk about serious things.
Oh, well, let's
So,
talk about some serious things.
I guess we're going to have to.
Well, because drug addiction, Whitney taking her father back to sober living, and that whole ride in the car, and like hearing her backstory. That's some heavy shit.
Whenever he's on the screen, though, I can't look past his hair. So I don't really know what's going on with him. I'm just staring at his hair like, that's really what you look like.
Oh, don't judge a man by his hair. You're not one to judge.
I'm not, because I don't have any, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just manipulate my facial hair in different ways all the time just to keep myself interested. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, you're right. A lot of heavy topics
A lot of heavy
here.
topics between Jen and Mary's fight.
Yep.
Which really gets it went there. Like they start talking about Mary is making some really racist comments about people in her own race, and there's like a brief talk about interracial racism.
Yeah, Coach Shaw dropping it.
Yeah, there's what else? Then we got Meredith and Seth. Who sounds like they're at first I was like, these two with this stupid drama. But
then the robot cried. And
the robot.
And then that's when I was like, oh man, I thought this was all bullshit for the show. And especially because last week we talked about that blind gossip shit that I'd seen on Reddit.
Yeah.
And
still could be. They could be good actors.
I mean, I don't think they're good actors. They'd be at Sundance. Lisa would put them on stage.
Hey,
turning it back to the show. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
That should be a soundbite.
That maybe it could be. I could cut that too, but we never go back and listen to these things because they're too embarrassing.
But let's keep going.
Yes. So we're at the lunch, and look, I honestly, as crazy as Mary is, I totally agree with her being upset with Jen right now.
Where's my apology?
Because she gets it. Yeah, like Jen told her entire life story, ended it with an apology to Meredith, and then Mary's just sitting there like, I think Jen might be under the impression that she said that a lot lower than she did at the party. Maybe nobody told Jen that she heard her. So that's why she doesn't realize that she should be apologizing.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't think of it until literally this second also.
No, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And so, Jen's not going to give Mary an apology if she doesn't think she needs one. And she's going to act all indignant, which she absolutely did. And for a second, I thought Jen might kick her ass. And but like Mary kicked her out. It was fucking pretty wild.
Yeah, Heather was trying to be the mediator.
Yep.
I mean, Mary made that comment, "Don't get ghetto," which was just.
Yeah, and that's when Jen hits her back with the, you told me like a month ago that if you see black people in front of 7-Eleven, you're not going in. That's fucking weird.
Not good.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I mean,
Mary's sheltered. She doesn't know what real...
Yeah,
she's never...
I guess that's what it is.
I mean, I don't imagine that she had like a ton of money, like when she was before, the grandpa. But...
No, she did. They had money from the church.
The church was the grandfather's.
No, I thought the church was the the church was the grandmother's, not the grandfather's. It wasn't the grandfather's.
Then why did she have to marry the grandfather to keep the church?
That was... Maybe it's something he put in the fucking well. I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe she was too young to take over the church, and he was going to guide her. That's what it sounds like. No?
I was under the impression it was the grandfather's church, and the grandmother married into it, and the grandmother wanted it to stay in her family, and that's why she suggested the youngest daughter of age. Almost like a fucking, hand-me-down kingship type thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I'm going to write down to look it down, though. Look it up, though, and make sure.
Yeah.
And we'll do some corrections next episode.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do that.
Look that up.
All right, you talk for a second while I write this down. I can't
write
words that are
Mary, getting back to the comment.
Yeah.
Mary is interesting in many different ways because we see a lot of different
sides of her. Like, she wants to be viewed as high class, as, luxury. She wants her status to be known. She always wants to look good. She wants her son to love her.
She wants, like, she's this pious woman, right?
Oh yeah, she thinks she's fucking
Better.
For the second time, we've heard Mary say that she thinks Jen's issue is that Jen wants to be on top.
Right.
But nobody ever asked Mary, like, so why is she coming at you then? Do you think that you are on top? Like, so why don't you ask Jen what her real issue is instead of making that assumption that she's just trying to move up a ladder?
What do you think?
I think Mary's absolutely insane. And just like last week, I said like that she was sheltered, and I thought she was like almost like a Kimmy Schmidt type.
Yeah, she's.
And that's what she is. She's Kimmy Schmidt with fucking money, like when she got out of the fucking. Yeah. But she's still in the cage almost.
Yeah.
You know, I think she's almost like she even said when she was at the dinner with Heather that. She was like, I don't want to marry him. And it took me 2 years to do it.
Yeah, 2 years and to pray on it, too.
Yeah,
and
to pray on it.
God gave her the answer.
Yeah.
Just sounds like some fucking Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, it's weird. It really because I'm pretty sure that whole time he was showering her with gifts and shit. Like, this is what it would be like. This is what it would be like.
Ew, Grandpa.
Yep, and... Not for nothing, too, like, when she was talking about, like, the people in front of the 7-Eleven, I was like, those would probably be people in a church.
Yeah. I had that thought, too.
You know?
I had that thought, too.
That's fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, if she wasn't so crazy...
Yeah.
She'd be evil, like, almost. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
But I still almost feel bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's very, she uses this like status thing as her shield, right? Yeah. It's obviously a trigger for her, for people to know that she fucking married her step grandfather. Yeah. She talks about it all the time too. Yeah. She's always talking about it.
Yes.
And I think that, where was I going with this?
It's part of like who she is.
Yeah. She uses it to kind of this like status thing to cover up, you know, this like weird life this weird choice that she had to make. But I thought, I know we're going on a tangent. We're kind of going off on the episode. It's fine. But what Heather said, you know, when the two of them are having lunch together, what Heather said actually gave me a little bit more context and made a little bit more sense for me. Choosing your faith when it came to marriage, choosing your family in that way, and having to make a sacrifice. That's what it sounds like Mary did, right? That's all she knows. It's apparently a fucking thing in Salt Lake City in Utah, right?
Like with, weird marriage situations.
Weird marriage situations, polygamy, and these old men marrying young women. Like, it's not... People kind of, like, look the other way. Yeah. So, I don't know. Mary...
And there's a bunch of crazy stickler people. So, like, it's weird, too, because it's different based on who you talk to.
Right.
Yeah. And even though a lot of them all identify as still the same religion. Like, some of them believe it, some of it's old. Because remember how they were talking about in the first episode, like, the difference between, like, the old, like, the scripture and the...
Oh, right,
and the lifestyle and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. Right. But... And I thought it was funny because they cut to Lisa in the confessional or whatever you want to call it, and she was like, "Nobody, like, she's worried that everybody thinks that about her. Nobody thinks that. Everybody thinks that. Yeah. How could you not fucking think that?
Yeah.
Like, I think about it all the time, and I don't even see her in real life. If I saw her in real life, I would think that immediately.
I mean, it's only... it's like shit that you watch, you know, like on Game of Thrones. Or,
it's just like a reaction.
Old, like royal wedding shit.
Yeah, it's like something you would have read happen in,
I don't know what that meant. But.
Yeah, it would have happened, something that would have happened in like the 8th century.
Yeah.
So Jen gets kicked out. And then she comes back because Heather goes outside and, like, pulls her back in.
Heather trying to be the mediator.
And, like, Heather's trying to mediate, and I love the editors when they throw in, like, when you're totally hypocritical about yourself. because she's like, yeah, and you said your piece, and I just stopped to say something, and then they cut to like Mary saying like from earlier the lunch like, and nobody interrupt anybody.
Oh,
just
yeah,
let everybody
yeah,
say your
yeah.
whole thing. Like
Yeah.
they just slid that like
Yeah,
right
yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
like do do do.
Yeah.
Don't forget your hypocritical shit. And yeah, and then Mary calls Heather a two-faced just because Heather doesn't. Yo, Mary turned on anybody who wasn't on her side in that moment.
Yeah, she did.
Anybody. Whitney could get it. Anybody could get it.
Whitney
She was
got
like,
it, yep.
yeah, she was like Scarface at the end, just spraying anybody who was coming near.
Yeah, man.
With her eyes bugging out, just like Scarface's.
Let's talk a little bit about why Jen is so angry at Mary. We know it's the hospital smell, right? We also know that she made a comment about, the black kids outside of 7-Eleven.
Yeah. And she's got black kids. So.
Yes.
And so now, and she also thinks that she stole like Meredith from her a little bit. Now, this is what I was saying to you when we were watching the episode, though. I think Jen's just being extra for the show.
Right.
And I think Mary's legitimately insane.
Oh, I agree.
So, that's all I think Jen at this point, like, I think wants to resolve this and maybe start a new storyline.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's why she came back
in. Seeing the Watch What Happens Live when the whole cast was on, the two of them were going at it.
Oh,
they were fighting. Yeah, they're still fighting. So that is not going to happen.
Oh, okay then.
But what I was getting
at least they're
is,
talking, though, because
yeah.
Mary has said in this episode several times that she's just completely done with her.
Yeah.
So at least they're talking.
Well, what I was going to say was that Jen felt let down by Mary.
Yeah.
That was the one big takeaway that I took from it. Is
yeah.
that, she was excited to have,
another person of color in the group.
Right. To be able to relate to, talk about being raised in Utah, which is predominantly white, and
yeah,
which I thought. See, I go back and forth with Jen. Jen's another one I go back and forth with. When I see her on the phone with Coach Shah and him giving her pep talks, hearing some of her confessionals and stuff too, I feel like she's a very I like her. I think some of the things that she says is pretty authentic and genuine.
Yes, and I think she flies off the handle and stuff like that at times too, and maybe lets it, fly a little extra for the show.
Yes.
But I absolutely agree. Like, she's totally grounded in, like, many, many of her scenes.
Right.
And that's why I think her beef is really...
She's got to let it go now.
Yeah, she's at, like, 150%. And she needs to realize, like I said, she needs to realize Mary fucking hurt her. Say that. And somebody needs to say, you need to apologize to her also.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, whew. Yeah, Mary calls her a hoodlum too.
Yeah, man.
All that shit. And yeah.
Yeah, Mary goes off on everybody, like you said. She calls Heather two-faced. She
Whitney,
tells
you're only
Whitney,
30, you don't know shit.
Yeah, please stop talking, Whitney. Anybody who steps to Mary comes after.
Well, I mean, in honesty though, she just wanted to keep Walter happy. He was getting upset. Walter.
That's right, I forgot.
Walter was getting upset.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then Joe was like, I know Walter and Hans.
No, she didn't say Hans. And Antonio.
Whoever the fucking other guy was. I don't know. You know those motherfuckers too. They're your people. They're your fucking vendors.
Oh my god.
Who cares if he's getting upset? Let's work this shit out.
We also learned that Mary, for sure, is scared, frightened by 7-Eleven and hospitals.
Yep.
Two very...
terrifying places.
For her.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like the germs? Is it the people?
It's the people. The hospital thing is because she spent so long in there getting her sweat glands removed?
Yeah.
Or her odor glands removed? Whatever it was?
Yeah. Sweat glands.
And, again, weird. But maybe there's a medical reason for that, so whatever. But yeah, 7-Eleven, I think she just thinks she's just scared that she's going to get robbed. And so she's just scared of people outside of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, so we're talking about that,
yeah.
I think? Yeah. So, and then we go to Mary at home with her housekeeper who's beatboxing just to show that she's black. And,
God.
and then, so we had a couple of quick cuts here, yeah. So then we went, Meredith was telling Brooks how it went. I'm glad that was all that we saw of Brooks that episode.
But it looks like we're going to get a lot of them
Oh,
next
no,
episode.
he's going to...
His fashion show.
Yeah, on Instagram I saw like some dude unboxing like a Brooks fucking drop. It's alright. Like, I mean, okay.
Well, it's just like a stripe, right?
Yeah, like we'll see it next week, yeah. But like it's like Adidas with one line.
Adidas with one line.
Yeah,
And his
instead
name.
of three. Yeah.
And his name. Anyway.
Yeah, and then Lisa, we find out that a kid's gonna have a birthday party soon, so that's interesting. We know that's gonna come up. And then we go to Heather's house, and she's making breakfast, and her daughter's boyfriend shows up. They hear him coming down the block with his fucking system bumping and muffler humming.
I thought this little scene was kind of interesting.
I liked it too, yeah.
Input into Heather's life.
Uh-huh.
I love Heather. She can do no wrong in my eyes. But her ex pays for her.
Yeah.
Contributes, gives money, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I mean, if she got the kids, like, you know, there's some level of...
Oh, like child support?
Yeah. I
No,
would imagine that's what she was referring to. When she
didn't
said...
say child support, though.
But she said that he provides good... Like, that maybe they just made their own agreement, and so they don't call it that, but that's probably what it was. And if she would have... If they would have had a, you know, like a contentious divorce, then she probably could have taken it to court and gotten money also.
I guess I'm confused because they're divorced. She made it originally sound like she was really pushed away by the church.
Yeah.
And then here we learn, so she's getting child support from her ex-husband, who is not in the picture. He doesn't want to be on the show, obviously. But I guess when we first met her, I just thought she was a little bit more excommunicated. I guess I didn't realize how involved the ex-husband was, and that she was getting money from him. I thought she was completely excommunicated.
If he got divorced too, he's also excommunicated.
Oh yeah, but
both of them are on the
like
outskirts. They're just. Yeah, I don't understand what you're.
I sound like an idiot right now. I was under the impression
that he was still in the church and they just yeeted her out of it.
Yeah.
No.
This scene, I learned that Heather still gets support from her ex-husband.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they still go to church. Not as much.
It might not be the Mormon church. It might be a different church. You can still go to like Catholic church if you're fucking divorced.
No, I know that, but I'm saying it's not the Mormon church.
Maybe not. I doubt it is, because if Heather was gonna go, then, you know, that wouldn't be the Mormon church, because they got guys checking IDs at the fucking door. Like, yo, you got. Oh no! You're divorced. Get the fuck out of here. They got bouncers at the door there. I think Karl Malone works there.
Anyway,
he's a player on the Utah Jazz.
It was just. I was surprised. I was just surprised.
Oh,
because I really thought I don't know what I thought.
I thought it was great that she's giving the kids the option. I wish my parents gave me the option and didn't fucking drag me to church every Sunday.
You give the kids the option when they're there.
I'm like, hey, you want to go listen to that stupid shit? That's up to you.
No, you don't say that. You don't say that.
No, I just tell them, yeah, whatever. Like, it's up to them. I don't want to do it. My parents never gave me the option. I got dragged there and then guilted after that.
Did you go to church every Sunday?
Absolutely. Every fucking Sunday we went.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday. Every single Sunday. My mom dragged my dad there, too.
Did your dad want to go? Doesn't your dad go
He does, like, he acts like it. I actually had a period in my 20s where, like, I went, like, on my own. Like, my early 20s.
Yeah.
For, like, a hot minute. Like, when I was on the boat, too, in the Navy, like, I would wake up for church even if I wasn't on watch, and it was, like, my chief was the guy, so, like, then I was like, oh, shit, my chief gives the fucking masses, so now I felt obliged to go because I showed up to 1.
So was it, I mean, what did you get out of it? Was it just...
I don't know. Sense of, like, home-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy went too, like my friend Kevin.
Right.
And then this other kid, Brian from Philly, who you never met. Like, he used to go also. He was on my second boat. He was like my Kevin on my second boat. This kid, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it was, it was cool. But then I realized how fucking stupid it was. And I was like, what are you doing, dummy? But, like, to be fair, like, me and the kid Brian, like, we would go to church, and I'd be wearing, like, a Giants jersey. He'd be wearing an Eagles jersey. We'd go to 12 o'clock mass, and I'd go right to the bar for fucking 10 hours and hit on waitresses. So, like, what am I really doing?
I could just see you, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pair of jeans and Timberlands and a fucking and an Eli Manning jersey in, like, 06. Yeah. Or like a Michael Strahan jersey. Yeah. And then he's wearing his Eagles jersey. And then, we go to the bar for literally, like, 10 hours. From, like, 1 o'clock until... except when I would skip out to go watch Desperate Housewives with my friend Andrew. The 2000s. And then I would get on MySpace.
Oh, my God.
Ray, chill out.
Why are you barking at me?
I think she wants to get on the couch with you, but she's too little.
Get her up.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. So, and then Meredith picks up Seth at the airport.
Yes, Meredith picks up Seth at the airport. They haven't seen each other in a few weeks. And off the bat...
Yeah, he's like, so... I know the thing we always fight about is my job, but do you want to move to Ohio?
Yeah.
And look, like, Utah is like a weird place. Like, Ohio? That's not a good place.
I've never been, so I don't know.
I've been to multiple places in Ohio. I went to Columbus and Cleveland. I had a good time. Like,
Okay.
I was in my 20s. I went to bars. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, she's like, no.
She doesn't
no
want to do
fucking
it.
way.
Yeah, she's not into it because in their marriage, they moved around all the time.
Yep.
It's obviously a trigger for her. Her business
She says it's a trigger for her.
Yeah.
And that's why she gets, like, visibly, like, upset. And you can even see it's, like, almost in, like, the body language. Like, as soon as he brings it up, she just, like, skirts to the window. She's like, ugh, this shit again.
Yeah.
And she's, like, always like that, too, just in general. So you can even tell when she's even more, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
More bland. But
yeah, it was an awkward combo. She really doesn't want to move. Her business is there.
And what did she say he did again? Like, he does, like, discount stores or something like that, so he's always looking to buy a bulk of shit and in one place and then flip it somewhere else and then or something like that. And
yes. Kind of like what Ramona Singer did. Ramona does, or did.
I think Ramona should run a church.
Just... Why? Why?
Just cause. Yeah. So yeah, then I'm moving to Ohio. And then we go to Mary's with Grandpa. And so first off, I wrote, so they're like walking down the hallway or whatever, and she's like, yo, you want me to page the guy, whatever, page her for my shit. And then Mary's like jumping down the stairs. And then he goes, I can't deal with you with all this energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're 90. That's fucking why. What the fuck? Of course, you're 75. You shouldn't be with somebody that's fucking bouncing around like that. Fucking jerk off neighbor dog, and now all these dogs are barking. Now Ray is in here barking. Ugh. Hey, we're back. We had to let the dogs...
Bark it out.
Yeah, bark it out. The neighbor dog was going. It was fucking wild. Got loud in here. And
super wild, guys.
Oh yeah, they
so
were
wild,
nuts.
It was wild. It was...
But yeah, so we talk about Mary and her grandpa.
Yes, so Mary and grandpa, Mary and her grandpa are at the house, and Mary is rehashing everything with Jen again.
Yeah, this is one of those like split scene things.
Yeah, it goes back and forth between Jen,
with Jen and Coach on FaceTime.
Yes,
because of her FaceTime marriage.
Yes.
Well, they gotta be training, yo. It's football season, always.
Yeah, God, football. I get it.
Yeah, there's a game on. Yeah, do you get it? You have no fucking idea what it would be like to be married to a coach. All right, all I do is like watching it, and I'm contemplating putting it on the TV again right now.
And you've got fucking 5 or 6 fantasy leagues.
So, I'm still not at work coaching, trying to devise plays and schemes for fucking hours on end a night. Coach Shaw
Anyway.
gets like 5 hours of sleep a night, but he sleeps on the couch in his office.
Oh, Coach Shaw.
I
I
know,
like Coach Shaw.
I like Coach Shaw too.
Yeah, I do. I really like him a lot. He, you know, whenever Jen calls, these like pep talks that he gives her are very grounded. He's definitely the voice of reason for her.
Yep.
You know, and
she needs it.
Yeah, and I thought it was really good what he said to her.
Yeah, he likes coaching so much. He's a coach at home.
Yes, he carries over. But he basically says, he's like, listen, there's interracial racism, and it happens all the time. And he basically says to her, don't internalize it. It doesn't make you who you are.
And she conveniently leaves out that she
called her a grandpa.
Yeah, she conveniently leaves it out that like she yelled and she fucks with grandpa in the middle of a fucking party of 50 people or so. Everybody dressed like flappers. So she leaves that out. Coach Shaw's totally on her side.
Yeah.
Mary was kind of truthful with Grandpa.
Yeah.
And at first he was like, hey, you probably should have said that. But then when she continued down the line and the Grandpa fuck her, he was like, yeah, fuck her. Why is she questioning the fact that I get to fuck you?
Yeah. He says it's jealousy.
Yeah. And again, like, I don't know what she'd be jealous of, to be completely honest. I honestly have no idea what she'd be jealous of. Seems like she's got all the money she needs to do whatever the fuck she wants. And...
Maybe
she's
Mary's,
not fucking her grandpa.
Maybe Mary is jealous of Jen.
I think that might be it. I think there might be a little part of that.
Yeah.
Because she sees her as somebody that's kind of like her and has a normal life. And, you know, whatever normal may be.
Right.
I don't know. I think she might have been in that life long enough to where she thinks it's normal. Her face, her reactions are just so weird. It's like, I don't know.
She has a lot of, like, frenetic energy. A lot of nervous energy and anxiety.
Yeah.
She, you know, even like in some of the crazy things she says just in normal conversation when she was talking about the champagne in the last episode, that it was from a drought or a fire or some shit.
Was she drinking champagne or was she drinking wine?
I thought it was either. I thought it was champagne.
I thought it was champagne, but we learned later she doesn't drink carbonation.
Oh, that's right.
Because of her ovaries.
That's right.
So if it was champagne, that's carbonated.
That's right.
That's like the most carbonated shit out there.
Oh my god, that's right.
It's so carbonated, people can get their eyes shot out with the fucking cork. And she's drinking that, but she won't drink a fucking seltzer.
But what I was gonna say was, she fucking just said like she just like says these like crazy things just in normal conversations too, but it's always to make herself like look smarter. Or give, you know what I mean?
You know what it just reminded me of?
What?
Like Kelly Ben-Savot, where she was like, I don't eat processed foods.
Yeah.
She's shoveling gummy bears in her mouth.
Yeah,
like, you don't even know what you're saying.
Right. It's just like this air that she, or this type of person that she thinks she's supposed to be. It's very... It feels like Invasion of the Body Snatchers a little bit. Like, she's... You know, we get to see these little moments of Mary, of like, you know, when she was crying to Heather, how she didn't want to get married.
Yeah.
You know, like we get these little glimpses of her that are vulnerable, and it gives us a little bit of sense of what we're.
It's because they're real housewives.
All right, let's fucking move on.
Sorry.
You fuck. Let's go. All right, forget it. Well, we can't talk about Whitney with her brother because it's dealing with a serious topic, and clearly it's making you uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. That's just what I do.
Way to deflate the moment, you fuck. God.
I can't help it. No, we can talk about Whitney and her brother on the wrestling mat.
Playing
jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
So, what would you like to talk about?
You know,
I didn't mean it like
like
that.
when you do this.
No, I didn't mean anything like that.
Because You just like it's like you're like a little kid or something. You like are uncomfortable.
Not really. I'm asking what, like, they're at the jiu-jitsu studio, flipping each other around, doing a thing, and then, they're like, let's sit on the mat and talk about that.
Well, it's not his dad, it's his stepdad.
Yes,
we learn that Mary, or not Mary.
Whitney.
God, I'm still on Mary. Whitney, her mom, no, her
Her biological parents were both married previously and both had 2 other kids.
Right, okay.
Is what I believe the situation was.
And then they split up.
Yes.
And
the kids kind of split up a little bit too. And
right.
She was saying that was tough on everybody. But this is a brother from the mother's side,
right,
who's been cool enough,
been close to her,
to like, yo, I love you, you're my sisters,
I support
and
you.
I want to support you,
okay.
even if that's supporting him, and if he's cool, then we'll be cool. And
but Whitney is.
I've sent a text,
Yeah. She really wants everybody's support for her father.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about her. She really wants to see her dad do well, and she's taking the brunt of it.
Yeah.
She's the one that
she's
takes
the one
care of him.
And that's usually how it goes. If there's
right.
a troubled parent that fucked over maybe some kids, who knows? We didn't get too deep into what
happened.
With where his addiction went or anything like that. But usually the one who's closest to that parent and trying to get him back on the right track does take a lot of abuse from the other siblings, or so I've seen in movies and such. So, I'm just saying, like, I've seen it, like,
in movies.
Not in my life, but, I would imagine that's the case, based on empirical evidence of movies.
Moving on.
I didn't even mean to do it that time.
Moving on. Lisa's son's birthday party was cute.
Yes.
We get to see a little glimpse into her the way that I was actually pleasantly surprised that the party was kind of low key. It was just, from what we're used to seeing on, like,
Yes, and with her talking on the side and stuff between this whole segment, I went back and forth between liking her and then realizing she's a crazy religious person. Because she was cool talking about her kids and stuff like that, and talking about Sundance, and she's got a lot of work coming up, so she wants to be able to spend a bunch of time with them now. And then she'd be like, "I married my husband because we have the foundational love of Jesus Christ." And I was like, "Oh, weirdo, yeah, sorry." And LDS, yeah. Oh, that's
What's
right.
LDS?
Latter-day Saints.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So. And then they had a very interesting moment where Lisa was talking about how she's so awesome she needs presents all the time. She doesn't have to perform services for them. And then her husband's just like, "I'll take some if you want, though." And she's just like, "No." Yeah, so I don't think I don't think that's a very physical relationship, I feel.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
know. It's just...
Yeah. I don't know.
They seem to be, like, almost business partners.
Yeah. Yes.
Which they literally are, too.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a lot of tequila at the bowling alley. The kids were hammered. It was awesome. And then, and Whitney's driving her dad to sober living.
Yes, Whitney driving her dad to sober living. She's very excited about it. She's happy to see him go, to start this next chapter of him getting clean and sober. She feels like this is the one that's going to stick, so this is obviously something that they've gone through a couple of times where he's been in and out of treatment.
And you know that too, because when he shows up, they're like, "Oh, hey,
you're back! Oh, God, they really did that.
I know, they really did. They're like, we do it.
And then we to Meredith and Seth.
Yep. Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, she says she needs some space. She really needs some room.
The robot was leaking oil, yeah.
Oh, God.
It was...
Yeah, she really needs some space. And Seth is visibly upset.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be separated. He doesn't want it.
Why doesn't he just get a job there? Like, what is so important about this fucking gig that he's got?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. Just fucking, if you want to stay with your wife, stay with your fucking wife, weirdo. Get a job at Salt Lake City. You've obviously got some sort of skills that you could probably apply to something else besides buying a bunch of bullshit and then selling it at $1 more somewhere else.
Maybe it is a storyline. Maybe it is manufactured. Maybe it is fake.
It's just so weird because it doesn't. It's not like he's like, I gotta live in New York because I have to work on Wall Street. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to Canton, Ohio. The fuck cares?
So,
like,
you really think that they're fucking swingers? That they
you're going way back
marriage?
there? I don't know about that.
To hide that? That seems silly.
Like, if he was going back to Chicago, I would understand that. But now he's going to Ohio? Like, not even like Canton?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing there but the Football Hall of Fame. The only reason people know what Canton is because of the Football Hall of Fame. Like, you're not even going to Columbus or Cleveland. The mistake on the lake. That's what Cleveland is. Remember when the lake was on fire in Cleveland because it was so polluted?
No.
It's because I'm older than you.
When did that happen?
Like in the 90s. Like, I think when Jackass first came out, like, they went there and set the lake on fire and, like, Steve-O jumped in it or something.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's because you're... How old are you?
So much older. I'm a 39-year-old man who makes Real Housewives gifts.
2020, what a weird year.
Yeah, seriously. I never would have pictured this for myself.
Yeah, well, here we are.
Yes. Like Paul Rudd on Hot Ones. Look at us.
I go back and forth with this. Like, sometimes I think, oh, maybe this is real. Oh, maybe it's not real. I don't know yet. I still can't get a good read on it. It seemed, on the internet, God bless the internet,
yeah,
people were pissed. They were like, how fucking convenient is it? So, remember the robe that she was wearing?
Yeah.
That's a new robe. She just announced that she's doing a spa line of, like, robes and
That's
things
so
like
weird.
that. And
yeah.
she's wearing the robe.
In the scene where they have the fight.
Yes.
In a scene that she knows
And
will make it to the air.
Yeah.
No, look. Yes, they're doing their own product placement. They do. Like, do you think Bravo gets a cut of the robe line?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think they negotiate their salaries with this in mind?
I know Bethany did.
Okay.
Bethany, there was like some big. Maybe Bravo does get a cut. That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
Because I know that Bethany was like, has really the only really big, successful brand out of all of the franchises. And like a real, I shouldn't say like a real gig, but like,
well, she's a chef.
Bank.
Like, yeah.
Makes bank.
Well, she's a chef, and she developed her line of stuff and has a unique niche in the market.
But she used the show
Absolutely.
to launch her career, and I know
but she has the background before that, you know what I mean? She's not...
Yes, of course, but what I'm saying, but to answer your question, specifically, I think in her contract, she wrote something, like, there was like a clause or something that only she had, and after her, they were like, nah, we're not going to do this anymore.
You know what I bet it was?
What?
I bet it was probably for intellectual property, because if you...
Yes, that's what I think it is.
If you come... Like, every job you go to, they make you sign something like where it's like, yo, if you come up with some $1 million fucking idea while you're at work, we own that because you're working for us. So when she came up with Skinny Girl on the show,
yeah, you're right.
She came up with, because that was a conversation, and then her and Luann fought about it at fucking Bluestone Manor that you made me watch when we were up in...
Yeah. When we were on our honeymoon.
Oh, but we came up...
When we were anniversary.
Anniversary, yeah. So when she came up with the name on the show, so they might have been like, yo, we want part of that, because you were working for us at the time, and you came up with it. And she was like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember.
All speculative New York stuff.
It's all speculative, but to answer your question, like I said, none of the brand, unless they're like established, none of the brands on the show have ever done well, other than Bethany's. I could be wrong.
Not Ramona Wine. Okay.
Except Teresa's cookbooks were all pretty big. Teresa Giudice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw on Reddit somebody made the Italian wedding soup recently.
Really?
Yes.
Gotta try it.
Might as well. Maybe that's the cookbook we'll get Bryce. Okay, and the last thing we learned there is that Meredith bought the bear pick from the week before.
Yeah. Can I touch?
Can I touch?
Can I touch?
Can't touch that. So then we get to the dinner with Mary and Heather.
Can I say before we get into Heather and Mary?
Sure. You can say whatever you want.
I feel like there was beef between Lisa and Heather, and then it just totally disappears. Yeah, it totally disappeared.
Well, I think maybe they both put it behind them after their post skiing dinner, because there was also Lisa and Whitney beef. You're right.
They
all aired it out there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but I still was shocked to see Heather at lunch with Lisa one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so soon after that.
Yeah.
But again, like, it's week-to-week episodes. Who knows? It could have been 2 weeks in real life.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
But we're talking about Heather and Mary at dinner, where we learn that carbonated water hurts your ovaries.
But I thought it was sweet. Heather wants Mary to see that she can be a good friend and separate from Jen.
Yes. Especially after, like, Mary accused her of some shit at the party. She wanted to make sure that everybody was still cool.
Yeah, it's still cool, yeah. And she comes right out with it. She's like, what are you going to do with Jen?
Yep.
What are you going to do with Jen? And that's when she makes that comment that she thinks that Jen is triggered by Mary because Jen thinks
wants
he's
to be on the top.
Right? Yeah, I mean...
So I say again, does Mary think she's on top? I guess so, right?
Yeah. I mean, Mary gives me that vibe of, like, she hasn't, like, outright said it to people just yet.
Do you think she's got the most money out of any of them?
She's giving out fucking Louis Vuitton headphones.
I guess when you don't have to pay taxes.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
She's getting her money from fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody else only gets 80% or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then Mary's explaining to Heather, like, she goes through the whole how I married my grandpa story. And she explains to her the stuff about her grandma's will and, how it took her a bunch of time to, like, even come to grips with the idea. So it seemed pretty genuine that she struggled with it at the time. But eventually she did it of her own free. It seemed like she could have not done it if she didn't want to, though.
Well, before we even get into that, though, she also says that Jen is triggered by what she has because she's black. Did you miss that?
Triggered by what she has because Mary's black.
Yes, because Mary's black.
Yes. Because so Mary's trying to turn it around.
Right, and Heather was just like, what?
Yeah, Heather didn't buy into that at all. That's probably why it didn't even really register with me, because it was just another crazy thing Mary said that didn't make sense.
But in a roundabout way, what she was trying to get to was like what she did was not easy for her.
Yeah.
Right. She didn't want to be... Oh, yeah, that's when we see Mary get really vulnerable and starts crying and says, she didn't want to be married to him. And you could see how much of a... Like, it's still an open wound for her.
And I still honestly don't
traumatized. It's like it's she's totally triggered and traumatized by it. That's what it looks like to me. This woman is just...
Yes, I agree.
Traumatized.
And I said a minute ago, like, I think that she could have walked away from it if she wanted to, but I honestly don't know. Dude, because it's fucking weird out there.
We don't really...
She was like 19, I think, or 20 here.
Well,
like right there.
She was it 19 when he started pursuing her?
I don't know if he was pursuing her per se.
I
think it was just more of a, almost like a transactional thing, like a business arrangement, because there was paperwork involved. There was a will leaving her to him or something like that.
So they got married when she was 21.
Or leaving him to the granddaughter in the grandmother's will. Yeah, we should nail down like the ages and maybe.
Well, no, but that's what I was gonna get to. There's so many ages that are flying around, and I've seen this on the internet too. Nobody really knows the timeline that well.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Well, her son's what, 18?
Yes.
How old is she?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll look that up real quick. But yeah, so if he's, 18 and she's probably in her 40s, and that's why she's talking to Whitney like she's a jerk off.
Oh, yeah.
And so, she probably had him in the mid-20s. So, I would imagine early 20s, maybe even 19 or so.
Yeah.
That they got, married. So, yeah, so they get into it. Mary's crying, and basically she's just like, yo, I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to Jen. Jen's not in my life.
Over, and I don't want nothing to do with it.
And that's that, Jack.
Yeah, and I don't think her actual age is revealed yet.
See?
So everybody, there's some weird shit going on there.
See?
She's estimated to be 43 to 44.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some weird stuff going on over here.
I bet you.
But the son was like 17, 18, right?
I bet you this season. Here's what I bet you this season. What's going to happen with Mary?
Oh, okay.
Mary. All of this is going to be. Her church is going to be exposed, right?
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
We're going to get to see everything. We're going to get to see her behavior. We're going to get to see everything. She's either going to stay with him or find a way to leave him and keep the church. That's my prediction.
Grandpa?
Yeah.
You think she's going to ditch Grandpa?
I think so.
I don't know.
I get that vibe. I get this like weird sort of like people are on a very large level are seeing her trauma. She's gonna have to watch all this shit.
He's not doing anything traumatic. Like he's only been nothing but nice every time he's been on the screen.
Who, Grandpa?
Yeah.
Right, but the whole marriage in itself, yes, is what I'm saying.
I hear you. Okay. That's interesting.
I don't know. That's what I think.
Okay.
Or not. Or she's just going to keep being crazy.
I think she's just going to keep being crazy.
Crazy Mary?
Yeah.
Mary, why you bugging?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot. This episode was really heavy, but...
Yeah. There was a lot, yeah, and I don't like seriousness.
Yeah, God, obviously.
I'm sorry. That's the way I was raised. Nothing serious in my house. Only sitcoms, and we laughed about everything. We tried to, anyway. So let's get into how we wrap some power rankings.
Yeah.
Slight mix up from last week. So last week we had Heather, Whitney, Lisa, Meredith, Mary, and Jen. Jen's moved up because Mary's that crazy and Meredith is that boring. So, so this week, Heather's staying on top. Heather's the fucking best.
Yeah.
Whitney's right after her, close second, and then we've got Lisa, who's. If it wasn't for all the Jesus stuff, I would love her so much. If she wasn't
Why? Because she reminds you of me.
She definitely did a little bit right there. In that scene with her and, what's her husband's name? John, I think. Like, and she was like, just tell me, sometimes you just gotta tell me how much you love me and how pretty I am. And I'm like, holy shit, don't I hear that a lot.
Even if you don't mean it.
No, I know. You just want to hear it. Yes, I know. And by the way, you look lovely today.
Oh, don't fucking blow smoke up my ass.
And that's the response I get often.
Well, because I know I don't look pretty right now.
Oh, stop. You're always beautiful to me. And then, so like I said, Jen jumped up from the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now we're in fourth. But yeah, like I was saying, I think that I like when she's talking to Coach Shah because she's more of a real person then, and somebody's just got to tell her that Mary heard, and then I think she'll apologize, and I think that they will be on better terms, yet still fighting. And then we got Meredith the robot and Mary the lunatic tax avoider.
Tax avoider, huh?
Yep. So, that's all we got.
Yeah, that's it. That's the episode.
Thanks for checking it out. Sorry for the dogs, and there was one small glitch in the beginning, so you might have heard like a word skip. We had to cut like 3 seconds out, but you might not even have noticed, and you probably didn't even get this far because we're a bunch of weirdos, and why you listen to us. But yeah, you can find us anywhere you get podcasts. The show is called I Don't Want to Watch That. The website is don'twantowatchthat.com, and Twitter and Instagram. Throwing fucking stupid Real Housewives memes and shit out there at Don't Wanna Watch.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, appreciate it.
Bye.
Talk to you next week.